Hello and welcome to Kitchen 143. I am your host, Michelle Aventajado, and I'm really excited to share some of the things that I love while we get to spend time together in the kitchen. Today we're going to learn all about coffee, and as you know, if you watched the last episode, we have lots of fun things in store for you, which today will include a fun coffee kit that has hero blend beans, assorted pour-overs, assorted drips, and Iberico coffee smoked bacon. So make sure you stay tuned. Let's talk about coffee because we know that coffee is oftentimes associated with productivity and, of course, socializing. We go to coffee houses or coffee shops where we can solidify business partnerships, catch up with old friends, and of course, enjoy the coffee and just have a good time, right? So we work outside the office as well in the coffee shops. But when I was growing up in college, perhaps, when we would go to the coffee houses symbolized where it would be building community for open mics. We would have spoken word competitions and, of course, even homegrown comedy that we would enjoy. So different than what it is now. Coffee has now come full circle where we see how it before was brewed at home, enjoyed at home, and then we started going out to coffee shops, going to the mall, bigger shops, global brands, and of course where there were coffee shops on every corner, to evolving, not just as a big business, but then knowing now that coffee can be an art. So coffee culture has gone back to the smaller roasters. It's gone back to local neighborhood coffee shops. And because of lockdown, we actually are now brewing and steeping our own coffee at home. So to tell us more about coffee, I'm really excited to welcome back Aliana Uy. She's here from Prologue and Dough & Grocer, and those are some of the treats that she will be generously sponsoring for us for learning about more coffee and, of course, the Iberico bacon. Remember that Aliana and I also like to chat with you, so if you have comments, let's see, we have some already. Yes, great. Hello, everyone. Thank you. So let us know where you're signing in from. Aliana and I will, of course, interact and answer the questions we can as soon as we see them. But before we start, let's ask Aliana. Hi, Aliana. How are you? I didn't even ask you how you are.
Hi, Miss. I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm glad we're safe and inside, and it's not raining here. It's storming all over, right? So yeah. I'm glad that we're safe. So everybody stay safe out there. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about coffee from what you and I have known, because you and I tend to go down this rabbit hole and want to know everything we can about what we're going to be discussing today. So why don't we just start with something simple like beans?
Yeah, so I guess there are 4 types of coffee beans. So Arabica being the most common. I think it accounts for over 60% of the world's production. It's also probably the highest quality, and depending on where they're grown around the world, they could offer different tasting profiles too. So the second most popular would be Robusta. So it has a harsher profile, higher caffeine content, and it's usually used in instant coffee or the canned coffee. And then the other less popular ones are Liberica and Excelsa. So Liberica has a strong and unique flavor, and it's colloquially known here as Kapeng Barako. And Excelsa is largely grown in Southeast Asia. It's lighter on aroma and caffeine, but it's not as common as Arabica.
So Arabica is the most common, and you said Liberica is what we know as Batangas Barako, no? So that's our own famous coffee. Barako is actually, I know it's exported all over the world. We are known for that blend, that bean. Wait, I want to just see and call off where we're coming from. So some people are signing in from Taguig, from Japan, from Pasig, from Manila. Hello, everyone. I hope you're safe and sound inside. Of course, hi, Charlene. We're so happy that you're joining us. And of course, Victor signing in from Japan. How are you? Okay. We opened up with just the 4 beans, which is very informative for people who may not know much about coffee. Actually, I only knew the 3 before we started doing homework, so the 4th was new to me as well. We can't talk about coffee without actually showing our viewers how bean to cup comes about in Prologue. Let's see how Prologue comes up with their cappuccino, starting from the roasting. So we can see that you're in the same place where we were roasting earlier. How cool is that? The roaster's right behind you. I can only imagine how the roasting room smells where you are right now. It must smell so good. I know when you and I talked about this before, Aliana, we both said that we prefer an Americano over something with milk, no? But it's so beautiful, and it really is an art form to make a cappuccino so pretty with the way the baristas do. I mean, there's a reason why they have to learn and study. Beautiful. So of course, we know that you guys are tuning in to learn something new about coffee, but we also want to make it more exciting for you. Just like we're making coffee and doing different things with ingredients surrounding coffee, we want you to enjoy coffee as well. So Aliana, I know you have something special for 3 lucky winners who will be having their lightning fingers and being able to type in when we ask these Quiz the Cook questions. Do you want to share with everybody what they'll be receiving? So before I ask you to share, what we will say is that we can actually let everyone in the Philippines join. The difference would be in the prizes that you would receive, right? So if you're in Metro Manila, you would receive the items that are perishable, which Aliana will tell you about. But if you are outside of Metro Manila, she can still ship some of the prizes to you as well.
So today we're giving away 3 sets, each one containing 200-gram pack of Hero Blend coffee. So that's our signature blend. Assorted drip coffee, which Mish will be preparing today. And Iberico bacon, frozen Iberico bacon slices, which Mish will also use in, I think, something special today.
Yes, very. Okay, so before we actually ask you guys the quiz, the quick questions, I know you're probably like ready and want to answer something already, but I would love to welcome our very special guest. He's a professional makeup artist with over 15 years experience both locally and abroad. This includes San Francisco, New York, London, and Milan, of course, the fashion capital of the world. He's mentored countless makeup artists who, of course, made their own mark in the beauty industry as well. So he shared that he has always actually enjoyed coffee up here, but now he considers himself a newfound coffee connoisseur. And we're so excited that we'll get to learn from him as he's going to make some coffee with us later on in the show. Can you guys, welcome Jigs Mayuga. Hello.
Hey, Michelle.
Hi, Jigs. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad that we are safe from these rains. It's kind of storming out there, but I'm so glad to have you here. And it's actually a perfect day for coffee because it's raining.
It is.
Nice hot cup of joe. So, question. I know we all have kind of changed through this last year and a half. Prior to quarantine, what was your coffee culture like?
So it's actually nice that you mentioned how coffee culture has evolved, and I think I've experienced all those changes in coffee culture throughout the years. So when I posted about it on social media earlier, I talked about how I first started getting into coffee with the big commercial coffee houses that started popping up in Manila in the 90s. And then as a flight attendant, I would serve a lot of coffee in the aircraft. So we would brew like drip coffee in the galley for the passengers. But this was just your usual drip coffee, like the usual coffee machines that you would find at home. So just in big amounts. And then through the years, I found myself drinking a lot of different coffee drinks like lattes. I even got into soy lattes actually for a while. I was addicted to soy lattes for maybe 5 years. And then when I started getting to CrossFit in 2014, I discovered black coffee because a lot of CrossFitters, they do either keto or the other diets. So it really requires that you don't take either sugar or carbs like milk in your coffee. And I actually kind of liked it also. And I'm also on intermittent fasting now. So the only thing I can drink in the morning before breaking my fast is black coffee, which I actually quite like.
Right, me too. I actually love black coffee. And while I don't do CrossFit, I was thinking that your coffee culture would have been influenced by that because you really have to work out so hard. CrossFit is incredibly grueling, and every time, like, I love watching your videos, and I keep thinking to myself, I definitely couldn't do that. My love affair with black coffee is similar, but not because of CrossFit, but because one day I ran out of milk. And so I just drank.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like out of necessity, right? And now, of course, I love black coffee. I'll enjoy the drip. I love Americano. I know a lot. Aliana and I share that in common. So, and for those of you who are interested or wondering, the joy behind black coffee, is that it's only 1 calorie per cup. That's just a little, right? That's just a little tidbit. Okay, so that was your culture before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Now quarantine. How has it changed? And what has been your most favorite part?
So I've always kind of prided myself in serving good coffee at home. So when I have guests, I offer them coffee, but it was just drip coffee from the machine. But I did have let me show you some of the other ways I brew coffee. So I do have a French press here. So this is where you just soak the beans inside the pot and you let it sit for about 4 minutes and then you pour it. This is actually very convenient too, and I like the entire process also of making French press coffee. We're also big my fiance and I are also big on cold brew. So we love cold brew coffee because it's convenient. You just keep it overnight and then you pour it over ice and then we bring it to the gym. So it's also our pre-workout for the gym. But actually, for my birthday in April, my fiance gifted me an espresso machine. So that's when it started. Yeah, when I started diving into that rabbit hole, as you and
Right.
Aliana were mentioning earlier. So I got into making espresso at home, which I never thought I would get into. So started making lattes. I mean, and of course, americanos. But then I have a friend from the gym. Her name is Althea. She's probably watching now. Hi, Althea. She's a barista and she's also a graphic artist. But she's super into coffee culture. So she gifted me with coffee beans for my birthday when she found out I got an espresso machine. And I started watching her stories and I discovered pour over coffee. And I actually found out
Ah,
also that a lot of CrossFitters started doing pour over during this lockdown. Like I can name like four other CrossFitters who started doing pour over at home. So I started watching their stories also. So that's how I got into it. And it's actually funny because even though you're drinking black coffee, you can extract a lot of different fruit flavors or chocolate or nutty flavors from different brewing methods, different grind sizes, even as far as going into specific water temperature. So my friend actually described us as fourth wavers. So this is the
oh,
fourth wave of coffee. I don't even know how to
wow.
describe it, but it's actually people who brew coffee at home, who enjoy the art of brewing coffee at home. So it's more of like a science, but there's also an art to it. So I don't know if I'm considered a fourth waver, but my friend told me that I was. So there, yeah.
That's see, I'm learning so much already. I didn't know there was a name as a fourth waiver. So does that mean if I get into brewing the way you're brewing after this, does maybe I'll be a fifth waiver? I don't know. So
Maybe,
anyway,
maybe.
it's really exciting and interesting. So you talked about French press, drip, pour over, espresso. So of course that's is pressurized water that goes through,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that
Mm-hmm.
heats the machine. So lots of different ways for us to enjoy coffee at home now. I think I'm gonna put an espresso machine on my Christmas list. Santa, I've been good. Can I have an espresso machine too? Okay, so fantastic. Cold brew also. Question about cold brew. Does cold brew actually contain more caffeine, or because I know the way you brew the coffee also can affect the acidity as well as the
Mm-hmm.
amount of caffeine? Is that
Mm-hmm.
right?
The caffeine, I'm not so sure, but when I do brew my cold brew, I make sure that the grind is very coarse. Because if you grind too finely, then it becomes super bitter. So I
Right.
like my cold brew more of on the fruity and acidic side. I don't like it super bitter. If
Okay.
I'm looking for something that's more dark and bitter, then I go for an espresso.
Yeah, because then it's hot and that's nice to enjoy hot. So fantastic.
Yes.
So I know that you are going to be setting up. Do you have much to do right now while you're getting ready? Can we do a quiz the cook question while you're getting ready to show us a pour over? Will it
Go
take a
ahead.
few
Go ahead.
minutes? Okay, awesome. So as you guys know, we are giving away 3 sets. Aliana generously is sponsoring from Prologue. We have the beans, we have the drip, right? So we have Hero Blend beans, we have assorted drips that you can make that are single, right? Single serving, and these are great. And then, of course, we have the coffee smoked Iberico bacon. Right? And
Yeah.
you guys are going to learn about how they do this too. So these are the prizes. They're up for grabs, but you have to answer correctly by typing in the comment section. Are you ready for the first quiz the cook question? Let's see. Okay, yeah, some are taking notes. Let's see. Okay, for the first quiz the cook question, I would like to ask you guys to name 3 types of beans, coffee beans, that we were discussing earlier. We actually gave you 4. We gave you 4 types of beans, but we'll make it easy and just give us 3. So while you guys are answering, say I'm going to Also, I think Jigs is setting up. And remember again that the winners, we have 200 grams of the beans. And Jigs, you prefer beans over buying ground coffee, yes?
Yes, actually, I've been grinding coffee at home for years, but it's only recently that as you mentioned earlier, I started buying from local roasters because I now prefer freshly roasted beans. So it's perfect. Actually, thank you, Doe and Grocer. Thank you, Aliana and Prolog, for sending me these beans. So I'll be brewing these today. Actually, the roast date is June 21 because you're supposed to rest the beans for about 10
Around
days or
2 weeks.
14 days
Yeah.
so that tama ba, Aliana, the carbon dioxide, or
Yes.
is it
Around
oxygen?
2. I
So
think
it
CO2.
dissipates, right? Yeah. So you're supposed to let it rest. So this is actually perfect, and I actually like single origin beans from Ethiopia. So
Mm.
we're brewing the Misty Valley this afternoon.
Ooh, exciting. Okay, so we're gonna watch you do that. We have lots of people answering. Let's see, Aliana, we can start looking at some of those. And it looks like a lot of people have answered the same beans. So that fourth bean that I mentioned that we were talking about is not really well known, right? It's not really. Does it look like we have a winner? Spelling is correct. I see someone there. So
We're looking at the
announce?
Rappler stream, right?
Yes, you can look on the comments here in the StreamYard because as they comment real time, they come up here as well. So instead of looking there,
I did
see?
not see that.
Yeah, so it's so fun. So this is where we can also interact with everybody. Nicole says, hi, Jigs.
Hi.
Nicole Ceballos.
Oh yeah, she's my apprentice. My
Yes. Oh,
former
so she's a
apprentice.
makeup.
Hi, Nicole. Yeah, she's also a makeup artist. Hi, Nicole. Thanks for watching.
Chari, Nicole, let's see, Kate, Mark. So I think, Aliana, do you want to say the winner?
One.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the first one. On this
Okay, well,
list,
she's-
it seems like. Wait.
You can look on the Facebook also.
Yeah, hold on. Let's
We're so
check this
happy.
first.
So while you guys are while we're figuring out who won and who answered first, if you guys want to go ahead and tell us for the new viewers who are tuning in where you are and maybe what's your favorite coffee drink, right? Like how do you guys take your coffee? Okay. I think I see the winner.
Okay. So our winner is Jonathan Ong.
There we go.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Jonathan, you will get 200 grams of the Hero Blend. And you will get a mixture, an assortment of a variety of drips. And you will get coffee smoked Iberico ham. Bacon, sorry. Coffee smoked Iberico bacon. Okay, so Jigs, I think we're ready to actually, if you're ready with your coffee demo, we can learn from you. I'm so excited because I don't know how to do port over and I'm really excited.
All right. So thanks for that. I was actually quite intimidated by pour over at first because it's a lot of math. It's actually really a science. And if you go to different vlogs and websites, and actually if you go to even specific websites of different roasters, they have a specific way of doing their pour over. So this particular recipe, they call it a recipe, I got from James Hoffman. He's a famous YouTuber. He does a lot of vlogs about coffee. I only also recently discovered him on YouTube. Just a disclaimer, I am not a barista. I am by no means a coffee expert. So what I'm gonna share today is really how I do coffee at home. Actually, this is also very budget friendly. I because we already have an espresso machine. So when I decided to move to pour over, I said I'll invest in the important stuff, but the other things I'll also share where I found these also. So what you'll need today are, of course, fresh coffee beans. So these ones are from Doe and Grocer. This is the Misty Valley single origin coffee from Ethiopia. So it's a light roast. So if you are doing pour over, you might want to get beans that are from a lighter roast, or you can check either it should indicate light roast or filter roast, because the darker roast work better with the espresso machines. And
Espresso.
because pour over actually it really brings out a lot of the fruit flavors. So we are, and always remember to use fresh beans. That's why I also buy from a lot of local roasters. And then I have an electric kettle. You can also use your kettle on the stove, but some coffee lovers actually even have the electric kettle with a specific temperature. I don't have the
Oh.
budget for that. I only got this for 1,000 pesos from
Alright.
can I mention the e-commerce sites? You know, those two
Sure.
local
Yeah.
e-commerce sites from Lazada. So I got it
Yeah.
from Lazada. I only just really wanted a gooseneck kettle because it helps you pour the
Easier.
water slowly. But of course, you can also use just your regular electric kettle. But this gives you more control with the water, because that's also some coffee connoisseurs are also very particular with the way the water is poured. I'm not gonna get into that,
Wow.
but
Okay.
yeah, it's actually, yeah, people have different ways of pouring the water. Even that, and even the water temperature, it has to be like 96 or 98. I don't have that on my electric kettle here, but James Hoffman recommends for pour over. As soon as it starts boiling and it stops, then you start pouring the water. I have already pre-boiled it, but I'll actually boil it again before I start pouring the water. And then I have my weighing scale. This is only 500 pesos from Shopee, because these can go from 3,000 to 8,000 pesos. I didn't want to buy the expensive
Okay.
weighing scales anymore, because this works perfectly fine. And even James Hoffman said that you don't need to buy the expensive stuff. But
Right.
the important thing is I got the Hario server and the dripper. These ones are made in Japan. So this is a V60 dripper. It's a 02 dripper. So I'm making coffee for two people today because my fiance is in the other room. He's in the office working, so I'll give him
Hi.
the
Where's
other
he?
cup of coffee. He's in the office, but I still watch
He
this
can
later.
come.
So this is Hario, and then I have a mechanical grinder. This is a manual grinder. I also have an electric grinder, but I actually this is a Time More grinder. It's made in China, but it's known among coffee connoisseurs also as a dupe for the Comandante grinders. Those grinders range from 15,000 to
Ah,
17,000 pesos. No, no,
yikes!
no.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
that's
So this is
this is
only
an
like two
expensive
five.
habit.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh my gosh, it's really an expensive. Yeah, it's an expensive habit. So this one is about. I got it on sale on Lazada. I got it's usually 2,500. I got it for about 1,800 using vouchers. So be smart. Use your vouchers. All
Always.
right. So and then of course I have my filters. Let me just start right now. So I'm just gonna fold the filter on the perforation. I've already pre-boiled the water, and you should also first pre-rinse the filter to take out the paper taste from the filter, and it also warms up your server, so the glass server, and then give it a little swirl. So you preheat your server also. So once that's fully dripped down to the server, I'm just gonna pour it out. Okay, let me just pour it out.
Okay. So just like sports and an equip like when you start a new sport, you have to make sure you have the right equipment. When we start
Exactly.
home brewing, we have to make sure we have the right equipment. And if I'm correct, what we're learning from you is that we don't have to get like the big names and like spend
Exactly.
a lot to make a good cup of coffee.
Exactly. I mean, I really tried to study the basics of it. Oh my God, she has a comandante grinder. That's the holy grail. Maybe I'll get those in the future.
Of
Yeah. So
course,
Aliana's
Aliana
holding.
has
No, this is
that.
not mine. This is not mine. I borrowed it from.
Yeah, my friend out here, she really saved up for comandante grinder, but she's really a hardcore barista. So it's really, and they call it. Oh my God, na brudol ka na naman. You know how na budol ka ng Shopee? Yeah, na brudol. As in, it's a play on words with the word brew.
Of
Brudol.
course, of course.
So today I'm doing 500 grams of water to 30 grams of coffee beans. So it's 1:16. 1 gram of coffee for every 16 grams of water. So as you can see, it's really a science. It's really an exact science. So, and I want to get clocked by the coffee nerds out there. So I am gonna weigh my coffee. Of course, when I'm in a hurry, sometimes I just approximate the amount of coffee, but today we have to be precise for our viewers. So I'm trying to point the scale to you guys so you can see how much coffee I'm pouring into the.
You can. So it's 44 na.
Yeah, so it's now 10. Yeah, 10. So I'm gonna do 30
10.
grams of coffee.
Okay.
So it's 20.3, 27.9, almost there. 30.2. All right, so we just have to take a bean or two off of there.
Sakto, 29
There, 30. There you go. 30. Okay na. Okay na yan. 30.1. Pwede na yan. Okay.
Sakto.
So,
So it's really a science, Jigs. You're saying it's
it
really a
really
science.
is. It really is. But in the morning or in the afternoon when I do the pour over, there's something really therapeutic about taking the time to grind your own beans, and because even down to the pouring, you have to time the entire thing. That's why actually you have a timer and a weighing scale. So let me just pour it down the grinder.
Aliana, did you know
So
all of these things? Did you homebrew before?
Personally, no, I don't. But yeah, I know about it.
yeah, so I've actually also turned into a coffee nerd. So even down to like the grind size. So for pour over, it's recommended. So I did my research. There are a number of clicks here. So the further down you go, the coarser it is. So you're supposed to grind from a medium to a coarse or a medium to a fine grind for pour over coffee. So I already turned the dial. This is 17 clicks. So this is gonna be kind of boring. So we can just talk while I'm doing this. So I'm just gonna grind the coffee
Sure.
now. So you just have to
Sure.
wait until you don't hear a sound of the coffee grinding. Then you're done. So this is gonna take a while.
Okay.
So it needs a little bit of muscle to grind the
Well,
coffee.
you do CrossFit, so I'm sure you have the muscles.
But while you're
um,
grinding it, actually it smells really good
I
already
can
when you're
imagine.
grinding it.
I
Yeah.
can imagine. And that Misty, which coffee bean are you using? Misty.
The Misty Valley from Ethiopia.
Yeah.
It's their single origin coffee. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then single origin. Tell us what that means. Single origin means that the beans are just coming from one place.
I think
Is that correct?
Aliana can answer that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aliana.
Yeah, so it's coffee grown within a single known geographical origin. So in
Right.
contrast to the other two beans that Jigs has there, so I think he has the hero and the mini?
Yes, the Hero and the Mimi blend. So these are,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
a combination of beans.
the hero blend, yeah, is a blend of three beans. So it's from Ethiopia, Indonesia, and what's the last one? I forgot. Sorry, it should be there.
Here in Asia? No,
No,
were you
no,
saying
no.
you're
So
It's
for the Mimi
Indonesia.
blend, it's El Salvador,
Brazil?
Costa Rica, and Guatemala. For the Hero blend, it is Brazil, Ethiopia, and Indonesia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So I
then
actually, yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, no, go ahead.
So I actually learned that here in Southeast Asia, actually the biggest coffee producing country is Vietnam. So that was
Oh.
when I went down the rabbit hole. Indonesia is close to Vietnam. how do you guys feel about Vietnamese coffee?
It's very sweet, right? Vietnamese coffee is sweet. It's a lot of
And
condensed milk, right?
chocolatey.
Yeah.
I think it's
Mhm.
the one with the
I drink it
condensed
black.
milk, but if
Yeah.
just the black, I think it's super strong.
I really?
It's
I
Okay.
yeah.
think so. Yeah,
I
very
I
think
should
that's what
try
they
that.
pair it with. Sweet.
I think they usually use Robusta also,
There is
if I'm not
Robusta.
mistaken.
Yes.
I think so. But I
Interesting.
guess
All
the
right.
Okay,
So
Vietnamese coffee we're more familiar with is the one with condensed milk, so that's why
yeah,
it's very sweet.
yeah. I think Jigs is ready.
yeah, so we're ready for our pour over. So I'm just gonna
Okay.
pour the coffee grounds into the filter. So let me just reset our weighing scale. So the way James Hoffman describes this method is you're supposed to let the coffee bloom. So you're not really gonna see it, but I can actually point the filter towards the camera. So you pour 60 grams of coffee within the next 30 seconds. So there, let's
Wow.
press start. Yeah, so it's very precise. So you're supposed to let the coffee bloom. All right. Okay. I can't see it, but is it
56?
56? All right. So and then you're supposed to give it a little swirl. So we're well
Okay.
within the time. And then, so that's how it looks like. If I tip it over too much,
Okay.
I might spill it. But there.
Yeah.
So after the first 30 seconds, you're supposed to pour in 60% of the water. So we're going to pour up to 300 grams of water.
Okay.
So actually, it's quite quick because you're supposed to be done brewing within 3 minutes. So let's see.
Okay.
Once I hit 300, 180, 200, 240, 260. Oh, almost there.
Here you go.
294.
Super close.
Oh, there. That should be okay. 301. So there. So you should be done pouring the 300 grams of water within a minute and 15 seconds. So we were right on time. A minute and
You
15
were.
seconds. All right. And then after that, you're supposed to pour in the remaining 200 grams of water up to the second minute. So there. Now let me just pour that
Okay.
in.
So while you're doing that, I am just preparing our bacon because we will want to show everyone how to make this too. So Jigs, what I am learning from you is that pour over might not be the way for me.
Oh yeah,
Because
it's a lot. Yeah. Right? When I got into it, I was like, oh no, this is a lot of work. But actually, the coffee is really worth it. It's super yummy. Like I now prefer actually pour over espresso because it brings out a lot of the fruit flavors. Like if you buy beans, there's peach, there's apple, there's lemon, there's a lot of different like there's lychee, prunes. It's very complex
wow.
actually. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I can just come for pour over at your house.
Yes, please, please. When it's safe to do so, please.
I'm inviting myself over because there's so much math involved in pour over. I think I
And
would
timing,
totally
it's
fail.
very precise. It's a very precise science. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, super. And so this is a reason why like I got into writing and speaking and math and numbers was never my strong suit. So I'll stick to less mathematical ways to make my coffee, but I can totally appreciate it. And if you can taste all those different fruits and flavors in the pour over, then that, I mean, it sounds like I would love it, but I don't know if I could hack it.
Maybe you can ask the hobby to do it for you.
Yes, he's actually very scientific and very mathematical as well, so he would do really good with it. So yeah, now we just need to invest in equipment.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
what's next while you're doing this? Do we just wait for a
And
little
we're
while?
actually done. Actually, it's done. It's done. It's done done brewing actually, so I'm just gonna get a cup to try it, and then I'll be right back.
Okay. So while Jigs is getting his cup, I am going to show you guys how we make bacon, how we learned how to make bacon. So we'll just move our camera down. One of the things that we have learned, I was looking at my time and I realized we have been chatting so long, and I'm so excited to share with you. Guys, have you ever baked bacon? Right? So this is the Iberico bacon that I was showing you earlier. And I'm just gonna throw it in the oven on the top rack. It's pretty high. I'll raise it a little bit. And so what we're going to do is we'll let that bake. It's less, so Aliana, have you ever baked bacon? No.
Actually, I haven't. No, I haven't. We always plan. Yeah. But I know I saw your photo from, I think, a year ago, right?
Yeah.
When you first posted about that baked bacon. And that
yeah, with your Iberico bacon, then the same. So what we did was we figured out how to we put some seaweed and some brown sugar, and we flavored some of the bacon as well. But this we're leaving plain because we don't need to do anything to it. It's coffee smoked, which leads us to the different uses of coffee. We've learned different ways to make coffee. We've learned the different beans that we can use. We've learned blends and single origins, right? There's so many things. This is what I love about doing these shows, is that we get to learn all of these different things about the food that we're going to eat. Dough and Grocer, we know, has been your reason for coming up with Dough and Grocer. You told us this last episode. Tell us again with the food and the coffee and the different things that you bring in for people to experience.
Especially with the lockdown, and we don't get to travel or eat out as much. So we want to bring these culinary experiences to your home instead. So we bring in different products from Europe, Japan, and other places. So if you can't travel, we'll bring the food to you.
Right, and now even the coffee, right? So I know you've had coffee this whole time, but now even with coffee, we've seen how in the beginning of lockdown, there were Dalgona coffee pictures going all over Instagram, and now how do you guys use coffee, and what are the many different uses that you have used, and how do you see it changing, right? Like, I'm sure Jigs can chime in on this too.
I guess before people would just drink coffee, they'd associate coffee as something to drink and keep them awake. But with lockdown and people, I guess, spend more time in the kitchen, they not only find different ways to brew the coffee, but they also incorporate it in desserts, so baking, cooking. And in the restaurant, it's something that we've been doing. So we have some sauces where we use coffee in them for our needs. And we also use coffee skins. So not just the beans, the coffee skins to smoke our bacon. So it would give a different flavor profile. So instead of using the normal smoked chips inside the smoker, we could also use coffee skins.
Right. So I am so excited because this is where, Jigs, are you ready to serve your coffee?
Yes, I actually poured it already.
Yay! Delicious, I'm sure.
So good. Yeah, so it really brought out the fruit flavors from the coffee. So good, yeah.
Sarap, I bet you can. So this is perfect for a rainy day.
It is. It's raining outside.
Hot cup of joe. It's perfect. So we were talking about the different ways that Aliana and Prologue and Chef Pirameno, they use the coffee beans in so many different ways. So I put the bacon, while you were pouring your coffee, I put the bacon actually in the oven. And this is a really easy way to cook. I'll show everybody when it's done. But let's see how coffee beans and coffee skins are actually used in Prologue in a different way. So we can show another video where we'll see another use for coffee. That was awesome. So you can see how the hickory chips and the skins from the coffee are worked into the smoker. And if I can, how do I describe? I can smell the hickory here in my kitchen. I'm baking the bacon, right? So baking it means I put it up to 400. I'm watching it quickly. I don't want it to get burned, right? So all the fat will render, but it's earthy, it's woody, it's so, I don't know if I can smell the coffee. I can smell the coffee, but it's so earthy. The bacon, it's you can really smell how robust it is, right? And I'm getting up now just to take a peek. So we are almost there. This is something I learned during quarantine because we had extra time to play in the kitchen. And baking the bacon at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius over for like 10 minutes, right? If you guys could see what's going on. Nino and Gia are arguing over who came up with the idea to bake the bacon in the oven. And actually, when we're in the kitchen, this is part of why I love being in the kitchen. We're always bonding in the kitchen. The kids, Nino and I, we spend time. So this also means that there's no spatters. There's no, what do they call it? Siksik? When you talsik, when you get oil. I see some questions. Oh, Charlene is asking Aliana, what is the metal rectangular device that was put inside the smoker? Are those the wooden chips with the coffee skins?
Yeah, they're hickory wood chips with the coffee skins.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys, wait, I will stand up here now and show this. So here's what the bacon looks like when it comes out. We just laid it on parchment. Now, if you guys like your bacon crispy, we would drain this bacon fat so it can be a little bit more crispy. Now, if I'm going to drain the bacon fat, nothing goes to waste in my kitchen. I am going to save this rendered Iberico because this will be awesome for garlic fried rice. It'll be awesome for soup, for stew, for anything. And actually, this is what I have done. So I'm gonna, actually, Aliana, do you want to ask the next quiz the cook question while I while I save my bacon fat?
Yeah, sure.
So, okay, so you can do the next quiz the cook. I'm going to save the bacon fat, and I will do this by the sink.
So again, for the second food set, first person to type in the answers on the comment section of the Rappler live stream. Okay, so our next question is, so Jigs talked about different brewing methods earlier, and he even sampled some. So can you name 2 methods of brewing coffee? Just 2 out of the many.
These ways to brew. Do you sell the coffee smoked bacon? Yes, Charlene, she does sell the coffee smoked bacon. Yes, and I'm so glad we learned how I could teach you something new and in the kitchen. I think this is part of what I love about being in the kitchen is just like little things that I picked up along the way. I can share with everyone that maybe, you know, we didn't know. Like when I learned these things, I'm like, oh my gosh, aha moment. So bacon, okay, we have some answers. So, Aliana, do you want to share with Charlene how she can order the bacon? Like, where should she go? You're muted.
Sorry, I'm actually out of bacon right now. I have it again, I think, second week of August. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it's available on doughandgrocer.com. So we have our Iberico bacon. So we smoke and cure them in-house.
Perfect. There it is. It's done, guys. The bacon is done. How easy was that? It was just while we were chatting, right? So now I want to, let's see, do we have our answers yet? How many did we need them to answer?
We needed 2. So I think our first one is Pam Fulero, who said pour over and French press.
Perfect. Guys, I hope you're enjoying this part of the program. This is like Aliana and Jigs and the team, you know, behind the scenes with Rappler. We love coming up with these ways to kind of course I'm a teacher, to test you to see if you were actually listening to what we're telling you. Because, well, of course, we find it super helpful and amusing and interesting, but it's nice to know that you guys are paying attention, not just because you want the reward of the coffee and the Iberico, but because you are also learning some stuff about coffee and the different ingredients we have too. So I think my frittata, so I'm going to tell you guys about my frittata now. I did not choose to make this on cam because I knew it would be, it needs a little bit of attention, and I chose to make it ahead so you guys can see it, but I will explain the process. And if you want to follow me on my stories and also on Rappler stories, I documented it all this afternoon before we actually came in. So the first thing that I did, was render the slab of Iberico bacon. I cubed it, made it like nice and chunky because of course we want to feel the bite. And then I did that in the Loge pan, right? And straining it all out and keeping the fat in there because that's what's going to make this delicious. Then I put in my vegetables. So some of the vegetables that I put in, I roasted some vegetables the other night. And it's very easy to make a frittata with leftover sides. Like I'm the type of mom that puts 3 or 4 different vegetables on the table. So we have leftover veggies in the fridge. Using this and then throwing it in to the bacon fat and then throwing in the eggs. We didn't do anything to the eggs because there's so much flavor, just salt and pepper. Salt and pepper, throw in then our cubed Iberico and the cubed Iberico, and then topped it with some cherry tomatoes just because I love color. And I love cherry tomatoes. But Dough & Grocer has the best cherry tomatoes ever. They fly them in from Spain and they're like candy. They're like grapes, they're so sweet. Do you guys want me to plate this? I think we can plate it now. So how would you make it? Oh wait, I forgot to finish. You saute everything there in the pan, you pour your eggs in, and then you bake it. So I finished it in the oven, so that it's not jiggly, right? And then for this, you know, frittata is something that you can also serve kind of warm. My kids, sometimes they'll just eat it cold. They'll slice it and carry it around like a piece of pizza. But I like mine hot, so I reheated it, and I'm gonna plate now with just a little salad. And while I do that, I'm gonna actually give you a little bit of trivia. So I know, I don't know my water. Thanks, my behind the scenes. So throughout the pandemic, and you know, we've been talking about Filipinos and fast changing coffee culture. But because there have been studies done on this, right? Fitch Solutions, I think this is a German-based firm, Statista. They actually said that by 2025, right, so that's how many years away? 4 years away? By 2025, the Philippines will be the country that can consume 3.3 million 60-kilogram sacks of coffee. That's a lot of coffee. So that means that basically, what, are we going to be the biggest coffee consumer as a country? I mean, these are the things that I love with when we learn about the different foods and the data and, you know, how to use it, even different uses for coffee, right? We just named a few. There are even other uses for coffee that don't have anything to do with food, like jigs, beauty, right? The coffee scrubs and stuff. So 3.3 million 60-kilogram sacks of coffee in 2020. That's how many sacks of coffee we have consumed in 2020, which is a lot of coffee. So while I'm plating, I'm going to use my fingers here. They're clean. Just going to throw some. I love putting together just simple salads where you can enjoy the greens. So I've been known to just put salt, pepper, oil, and vinegar. But the star of this show is the bacon. So we have bacon in the frittata, which you can see. And then we have our bacon that we are going to serve, which is a perfect brunch plate that goes fantastic with a nice cup of coffee. So if I was to serve this, would you be happy with this brunch plate?
Oh, no. It's making me
Super
yum.
yum. I wish we could eat this together.
I know.
Okay. Right? But, you know, I like to end on a sweet note. It's always nice to have a sweet ending where, of course, we can learn a little bit more about coffee and the different uses that we have. So we have one more video, but now we will see coffee in Prologue being used in a dessert. So let's share that one. Coffee and dessert go hand in hand. We know this all the time. So I'm gonna actually just show everyone how easy it is to use the drip coffee. I'm sorry, I'm using decaf today because I've had 3 or 4 cups already. So this afternoon will just be the 1 cup of decaf for me. So you take this, it's very easy to brew this at home. It's a drip. It's very easy to just, you rip off the top. It's already perforated. So much like, well, it's not like Jigs's pour over, which is very mathematical. It's a little bit more mathematical to me, but it smells, I almost smell the vanilla here a little. Let's see, just open it up. You can see the coffee grinds. It's super easy, guys. How easy is that? So you guys will be the winners who are who have answered correctly. We have one more winner too. We have one more pack to give away, right? So here is how I have the long spout. I understand the reason for it now. And you just pour this over and it's a drip. And we use the glass cup so you guys can see it. This was Gia's idea. She said, Mom, make sure you use the glass cup, the glass mug. So while we're doing this, let's talk about that coffee ice cream and the coffee jelly. Jigs, are you one to enjoy coffee jelly?
Like coffee jelly.
You do? Wait.
Videos of it's making me.
So I love coffee ice cream, like super love coffee ice cream. I think that's my favorite flavor.
It's actually our, so me and my fiance.
Did you bring him his cup of coffee? You said you were making 2.
Yes. Yeah, I brought him his cup of coffee. Thank you.
Some of
yeah.
Sorry, can't hear you. So some of your followers were, yeah. Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh,
Yeah.
there.
Hi.
Okay, there. Yeah, it was gone for a while.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, so we have our coffee. We have our brunch plate. And I think we have one more giveaway. Do we want to ask? So for the third and final prize that is up for grabs, of course, we have to remember the lightning fingers. Whoever is quick to answer, quick to respond with the proper spelling, or not necessarily, yeah, so with the proper spelling. But before I ask the question, I just want to say hello to everyone. Mark, Jonathan, you won earlier. Russell, Kate, Charlene, Lovely's Music Corner. Hello everyone. And Nicole, Lendell, you guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for playing along with our game of, asking everybody and quizzing everybody about what we're chatting. So this week it's coffee. The next time that Aliana and I are together, it will be a different type of food. But for today, the question, we will ask you to fill in the blanks. The Philippines consumed blank million 60 kilogram bags of coffee in 2020. So how many million 60 kilogram bags? 60 kilograms is a lot. Jigs, how much do you lift when you're in CrossFit? Is that that has to be easy for you?
It can range from like 200.
Wow, so that's actually like a sack and a half almost, right? Because if it's 60 kilograms is about 120 pounds, right? So you can lift more than 200. Yeah. Powered by coffee. Powered by
I really good coffee.
Okay, so do we have a winner? Let's see. Okay, so while we are looking at who is going to win this, so I think Ileana's looking, and then the team behind the scenes is also making sure that the person who answered first will be the person who wins. So guys, remember, if you're within Metro Manila, you will receive the Hero Blend, the mixed drips, and the bacon. If you are outside of Metro Manila, you can receive the coffee because that's non-perishable. Aliana can still send that over to you. So if you're within Metro Manila, you get to bring home the bacon. I think we have, right? Bring home the bacon for your lightning fingers. So do we have a winner?
Yeah, so the correct answer is 3.3 million, and I think our winner is, I hope I'm not mispronouncing your name, Fine Tejada. Fine Tejada. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Fine. You get a coffee kit and a brunch kit, actually, right? So care of Prologue and Dough and Grocer. And of course, if you're going to make something yummy, we would love to see it. So make sure you tag us. In the meantime, I'm going to show you my brunch plate on this rainy day with my hot coffee that's decaf. We have Iberico frittata with veggies. And I dressed my salad already. I just put olive oil and a little bit of sherry vinegar. I'm so simple when it comes to that. And of course, it's keto friendly too. So I'll eat the salad, and my helpers here behind the scenes will enjoy the frittata and the bacon. So thank you for joining us. I will have my cup of coffee. Guys, do you have your coffee with you? You finished it already? So I have my coffee. Thank you for joining us. Now, we will have replays for the show on both the 9th and the 10th, and I will be there to answer any questions. You guys can tune in. I can chat with you live. It'll be fun. But we also would love to, okay, Jigs, where can everybody find you if they would like to get in touch and learn more about coffee or CrossFit or anything that I know you also have a show as well. Why don't you give us some plugs so we know where to find you on social media?
Yeah. So you can Twitter, Jigs.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. And Aliana, of course, if they want to find out where to buy the sweetest cherry tomatoes, and of course all the bacon and cheese and yogurt and vegetables from all over the world so we can travel by mouth, how will they find you also?
So you can find us on Facebook and Instagram, so Dough and Grocer, or visit our website, www.doughandgrocer.com.
Fantastic. So big thanks to Prologue and to Dough and Grocer, Aliana and Jigs. Your presence and your energy has been wonderful on this rainy afternoon. Guys, anything that I made today and anything that was featured, from the coffee ice cream, the jelly, and even the frittata, the recipes will be up on my column tomorrow. Thursday. The recipe cards will be there, so you can go ahead and find those recipes and make these dishes at home. And if you do, make sure to tag #kitchen143 so we can see them. Thank you for joining us, and stay safe, and we'll see you next time.